My hair is obnoxiously long. I already know. Don't point it out. Hi, YouTube. Long time no see, am I right? There's a clear explanation as to why I haven't posted in so long. I don't have time for you anymore. I just don't! I'm genuinely considering just deleting everything on my YouTube that isn't music prior to now. Cause like, what am I doing? Bro, I'm not a YouTuber. I just make music. And then like one day I was like, you know, my channel's getting boring. Why don't I just like make some extra videos to put on there? And they were all bad. And this one's gonna be bad too. And I don't know what I'm just bored, okay? I'm bored. I'm actually like very stressed and very busy, but like, this seemed like a good idea. Don't make fun of me, okay? I know there are probably some of you who are like, Sam, we thought your next video was either gonna be music or the New York vlog. Here's what happened to the New York vlog. I was almost done editing part 1, because you know, I split up the whole trip into 4 parts. 2 parts of World Finals and 2 parts of New York. Bro, those things take a long time. If you know my life, you know I don't have any free time. And when I had like 1 second of free time, I spent it editing those vlogs. So it took me forever to get World Finals out in the first place. I had so much footage, right? So my dad bought me a hard drive, I think you call it? No, external drive. That's what you call it? It's a thingy, and it holds all your thingies in it. Cool? Okay. And I put all my footage on it from New York. And then the thingy decided to lose all the thingies inside of it. And then all I have left of New York is I have like the last like 2-3 days of it still on my phone because I hadn't deleted those off my phone. I film everything on my phone. I'm sorry. I don't have a real camera. Some of us aren't rich. Okay. This is really therapeutic for me. Like I haven't just in like a long time. You know what I mean? Like I haven't talked to people. Okay, no one talks to me. Yeah, I never got those videos back, so I never got to finish that vlog series. That was like the best trip of my life, best couple of weeks of my life, changed my life. A lot of things have been changing my life lately. Anyways, I'm just having a breakdown, okay? I'm just trying. I'm trying, okay? So yeah, music is on its way. Lots of music, I promise. I'm gonna talk about that at the end of the video, but I need to get to the point. For those of you who don't know, they do this like thing. There's like a channel that does this thing where they bring on actors and they do this. And they just write all the rules. Did one just fall? I don't think so. Well, you just ask questions and then you answer them like one does. This sounds so boring. Like this is gonna be so bad, but you get the point. So here are all of, I'm sorry, I almost hit Veronica. I have all the me's that I've ever gotten to be, and yeah, let's do it. Francois from the 12 Days of Christmas, and let me just tell you about this role. Well, Francois is just, well, he's a French dude. He only speaks French. I don't know French. I had to do a whole role in French. That wasn't even the challenging part. The actual challenging part of the role was that he's basically just a big ol' flirt. Your stereotypical like Pepe Le Pew, you know? And he literally pissed up on the main character, Alice, who was played by my beautiful friend, Emily. I love you, Emily. We met doing this show. And so the first time that we spoke was at the first blocking rehearsal for this show, when we were just hurled into this one scene where I like kiss up her arm. I'm pretty sure like I kiss her neck. And just be like all over her. I had to like hug her leg. It was so like boundary pushing, like not for me as a person, but just for the fact that I had to like pull off that kind of mindset, because I couldn't be more opposite from that, in the sense that like if I have a crush on someone, the last thing I would do was go up to them and like hug their leg and like just like start kissing their neck. I'm the kind of person who would like run away. So this pushed me. There was no hello, hi, I'm Sam, hi, I'm Emily. No, it was like, okay, now you're gonna like kiss her neck. I still get recognized for this more than any other role. Sadly, like no one didn't see this show. Like, hey, it's Francois. I was like years ago, give me a break. I had to go away for a couple hours, but my LEDs decided to die, so I replaced the battery, so now I'm in even better light. Captain Hook has got to be definitely my favorite, just because it made me like feel like Captain Hook. We had spent months rehearsing this show, and the coat was actually like super heavy, so it made it so difficult during like the combat sequences to fight with this big coat on me. It was very heavy. It was by far the most fun costume I've gotten to wear. Dude, it's Captain Hook. Red robe and the hat, and I got to wear like 30 layers of eyeliner. I looked very goth, but it was fun. I'll pull up a picture right here. Am I doing this right? I've never done this. Am I doing it right? But yeah, favorite costume. Gosh. There's no question Preacher was most similar to me. The time period when we were doing this show was like the hardest period I've gone through, and it tied in ways I wouldn't really expect to what Preacher went through in Elephant's Graveyard. He was dealing with a feeling of being misunderstood, of just hope being crushed, and that's what was happening for me. Sorry, that got really dark really fast. Preacher had this beautiful way of like looking at the world, and this beautiful way of looking at the situation that was happening. When something is happening in my life, or like something is happening like around me, you know, I'm attached to it. Like I get emotional about it, whether that's like negative or positive emotion or all the colors in between, but that's exactly how Preacher is. I don't like to pick favorites, but I don't care. This was probably my favorite show I've ever done, and probably my favorite character I've gotten to portray. Preacher is my man. Best Christmas pageant ever was the shortest process of a show I think I've ever been a part of, other than summer camps. I wish with my whole heart that it could have been longer, because we only had about a month and a half of rehearsal for this show, which is very short. Sorry, I'm just like mumbling here because I don't really know how to explain my relationship with Ralph Hartman, because man, it was a complex relationship at first. We didn't see eye to eye at first. I didn't get him, he didn't get me. I wasn't expecting this role. And like, of course you don't expect any role, but like I had ruled out that I would score the role of one of the Herdmans. I'm sure at least like half of you know this story. It's a story of the Herdmans. They're literally a herd of 6 kids. Genuinely like the worst kids ever. They're not just like, they're bratty. Like, no, like they like set buildings on fire, like break into their neighbors' houses. Like it's bad. And Ralph is the oldest of them, and this isn't necessarily written into the script, but it's implied a lot that like Ralph had to carry so much of the burden of the family because he felt like he kind of had to handle them. And you can see like as it goes on, you can see more of him kind of being the ones to nudge people in the direction of like, I won't spoil any of the plot because if you haven't read it or watched it, you need to like now. So please go do that, spend your time doing that because it's amazing. It was such a long and hard process, but I ended up getting the most attached to Ralph despite the fact that we are so different. Like we don't think the same, we don't talk the same. I talk when I feel compelled to, just depending on who I'm with, but he does the opposite. He's more vocal when he feels like he's being cool. When things get serious, he runs. And I want to say I'm like that, but I'm not. I can't, like, I've tried, but I just can't be one of those people, you know, who like just is cool in crowds, you know. I have to be around certain people in order for me to like be out there and be out in the open, and he feels that pressure to be cool. When you get to the bottom of it, like his entire desire is to be looked at as the rebel. That's never been me. I've been the opposite. I've wanted to be the kid who like fits in. I mean, in a plethora of ways. I mean, we're just total opposites, but that brought me so much closer to him, to be able to like look at life through his shoes. I mean, even just for like a short like 2 months. Ralph's my homie. You can't do this to me. Over half the roles I've done have been comedic. Okay, here are my candidates. My Lelio was like sarcasm at its finest. My Mr. Wu, very original, with the help of Brian Serrano, my genius director. I surprised myself with how funny I could be with Asher. My Schroeder was very nerdy. Okay, I'm down to either, I was gonna say Frank, but I'm down to either Asher and Frank. Cause, okay, Frank, okay. I decided to throw a couple cards on the wall from just like scenes and songs from showcases that I've done in the past. Like half the performances I've done haven't been actual shows, they've been showcases, so I thought it'd be fun to just throw a few up there. For my most recent showcases, this is in a scene called Tribble that I got to perform in either my first or my second, I remember, I think it was my second showcase with Casey Leet, and I got to do it with the beautiful, talented, smart Hannah Douglas. I love you, ha-na-na-na-na-na. Ha-na-na-na-na. Got to play Valerie, vegan, like super fit, like hashtag lifestyle, like 40-year-old. You know that woman, you know what I mean? Kind of trendy, I guess. You know what I mean? And then Frank, her middle-aged like husband. I guess the best way to describe him is like I framed my Frank after Ron Swanson. He basically just like loves eating meat. Valerie tried to convince Frank to go vegan, and I mean, you know, it didn't go so well for Frank. He threw a fit, got like doused in like water and chickpeas. Yeah, Frank was my funniest performance. You had to have been there. You had to have been there. Prior to the show, I had one other lead role, which lead in theater, like that just means like the top like 3 to 4, you know, that are like at the top of the playbill. I've had quite a few since then, but Tom has been actually my only starring role, you know, where I was topmost. When I was cast as Tom, which was probably the biggest casting surprise of my life, besides maybe Ralph, did not think I was ready. And I was very right. I did fine, like I did great. Like I very vividly remember, like it actually really ignited my passion for theater in a way that like I knew I wanted it to be in my life forever, even if it wasn't my profession. I really do like vividly remember opening night, like the lights went up. I was there in my like sofa chair with my long bathrobe and this big baggy shirt, and my hair was all like greasy. I just remember like everything I said, the audience just like cracked up at, and I just remember like my passion just went 100% at that point. Has not wavered since then, clearly, because I'm still here. I would kill, honestly, like to be able to do this role again. I was 11. I forgot to mention that. I was 11. Tom's an adult. We were doing like the junior version of the show. I wasn't able to like handle it all, you know, but it was a lot to handle. I couldn't shove anything else into my 11-year-old brain because all I had in there was Tom's lines, Tom's blocking, Tom's choreo, Tom's songs. And you know, I'm obviously much better at handling that now because I'm more used to it, but that's why I really want to do Tom again. I feel like now I'm ready. I mean, like, I'm obviously not the right age for Tom. He's like 20, like 4 or 5-ish, but I would love to get to try to tackle Tom again, so there's that. Billy was one of the ducklings. Honk is the ugly duckling, but it's called Honk because they didn't want to call it the ugly duckling because it's the musical version, so they decided to call it Honk. I don't think I have to say much about that, but yeah. I did not even have to think about this one. Glowina, right? Okay, so opening night, sold out crowd if I remember correctly. My ensemble track included two parts. So I was a weed, which was kind of like my main thing. Glowina is like a children's story about a flower. You know, it's the beautiful, like, she's like the queen of the flowers and she falls in love with the big bad weed, you know, so like, you know, to kids, it's to resemble that, like, even the weeds, you know, can be good. You get it. And so, you know, I was like one of the weeds, you know, we were bad, I don't know. My other ensemble part and my track was, we basically like resembled water. Sounds so weird, I swear, but I swear it was a thing. There's this big storm. It actually kills the weed. The weed dies. It's actually very sad. In the storm, those of us in the ensemble who, you know, were assigned, we resembled water, we resembled wind, or, you know, we had this like, I forgot what it's called, but people have like a term for it. It's not dancing, but it's like a lot of movement. It's like movementography. My movementography was, since I was water, I just went around Glowina, the main queen of the flowers, and I think there were just two of us. And we to like run around Glowina for the entirety of the storm. The storm was its whole, like, it was its own act even. It was like an entr'acte kind of between like acts 1 and 2. I don't really remember. I've done so many shows since this show. So we had to like run around Glowina in like circles, right? For like minutes and minutes on end, like maybe 10 minutes. Like I was just running in a circle. I don't know why this couldn't have happened to me during Tech Week instead of on opening night. Like you run, just like suddenly then the cycle just stopped and you just ran off stage. We were on this like huge platform, right? Like maybe 10 feet tall. Kind of like lost my footing because I think there might have been like actual water, you know, like in the storm, you know, like some kind of like spritz of water. I don't know. And yeah, so I slipped. I mean, I don't even have to say, you know, like I slipped and then I like almost fell off the platform on stage. There were some people who like stood up in the audience because they were like, oh God, is he about to die? I know when to die. I would have just like gotten a concussion, but you know, very embarrassing. Coraline was my first full-length musical. A very, very pivotal show for me. It was my first show to do here in Odessa. It was with Mark Tenniswood. I don't know why, like I can't really explain why, but like I remember everything of this show. I guess it was just because it was such an important show for like my journey as a thespian, even though it was like 5 years ago, but yeah. Give me that boy. When I auditioned for The Giver, I was auditioning primarily for the lead, Jonas. I mean, that's no secret. I don't have to like try to hide that. There were definitely like at least 20, but I would guess around 30 who were auditioning for the role. I had wanted the role very, very strongly since they had announced that we were doing the show like a whole year prior. I was prepared. I definitely did not expect to get cast as Asher. Sounds so like egotistical. I do remember I had actually told myself that on my audition sheet, you can say like what characters you'd be okay with being cast as. I almost said not Asher because I wanted Jonas that badly, and I've never done that on any other. Well, like I haven't actually done that on any audition sheet because I ended up checking that I would be okay with being cast as Asher just because I would think, okay, I'm gonna humble myself. I, of course, adore the casting that the directors went with. Realize, of course, the roles that were up here on this board, like I can make an even larger wall of cards of roles that I haven't gotten, you know? I mean, like that's of course how it is. Like I probably had about 10% yeses, and that's how it goes. You know, I really wanted Jonas, so it was really sad to me when I got the call that I hadn't gotten the role. There were 4 of us who, because you know, we did like a million callbacks as always. They were like so struggling with the decision that the directors actually called us back on a whole other day where there were 4 of us that went head to head and we did like this huge monologue. You know, it's a super like character development heavy show. Like you've got to be able to pull off the character development. There's no better way to like appraise someone's character development skill than through a monologue. So we did the same monologue in front of each other like a million times. Any director will tell you this, just a little tip here. They do that for a reason because best actors don't watch each other. The best actors don't get caught up in what everyone else is doing and let it influence their own monologue. You gotta, you know, throw it out there yourself. So we basically just had like 30 minutes, went in a cycle of each of the 4 of us doing the monologue. And just, it was basically like, okay, like here's 30 minutes, throw us everything you have. And I did. I really do think that was the best audition I've done. Like, I really do. And I got Asher. And Asher was the happiest surprise of my life. I obviously didn't know it at first. I was very like, Asher? Like, I'm not an Asher, because Asher is this brawny, like, dumb friend. I didn't realize it at first, but he also has tons and tons of layers under him. He has hatred for Jonas, and like, you wouldn't have thought that at first because they seem like they're best friends. He has hatred for the life that he's living, but he doesn't want to show that either because of the system that's been set up around him. And I feel like Asher really is, he's more than the comedic relief of the show, and I really got to realize that. I love Asher, and I miss him so much. This has been quite fun. And honestly, a little emotional. Actually, I think it's just because I've been emotional lately, but you know. These are all of my roles that I didn't choose. Sorry, Leo. I'm so sorry, Mr. Two. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry, Professor V. I'm sorry, Schroeder. I'm sorry, Ensemble. I'm sorry, Mr. Boo. I'm sorry, Chipmunk / Ensemble. I'm sorry, Nicely Johnson. I'm sorry, Shirabuno. Music. I swear there's more stuff coming. You might have seen my trailer thing, teaser thing for Liar, which was supposed to be out on April 24th, but, you know, there's like delays, you know, with like businesses and stuff, you know, they're like short staffed, you know, streaming services have been slow with accepting music. And so they accepted Liar a little late, but Liar, my single, is gonna be out on May 1st. So get ready. It's the start of a whole new era. If you follow my Insta, you know that I've been working on an album since August. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a full-length album. It's gonna be my best record yet, and I'm so excited for y'all to hear it. It was gonna have released by now, but this is the first time I'm actually gonna be saying this publicly, but I might as well go ahead and say it. I've been planning a release event, actually, to go with the album because of a specific detail about the album, which I'm not going to share just yet. Because of that specific detail, I wanted to do a release event to celebrate. We can't do that now, so I gotta wait until all this blows over. This was Roll Call, and see you next time, which will probably be in like a long time from now, not gonna lie. Stay cool, kids.